And we are rolling. What's up, guys? Welcome to Unlimited Freedom. This is Vaughn with Unlimited Freedom, and today we are going to be breaking down what a fraud is, right? The true definition of the word fraud, as well as why so many crypto platforms are being accused of being frauds. You're a fraud, man. You're a fraudster. But before we break into it, guys, before we crack into it, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and I am not your financial advisor, okay? I'm just a guy who comes on here. I share what I'm doing in a lot of areas. I share my story. We talk about cryptocurrency on here. We talk about crypto platforms. We talk about Forex. We talk about high frequency Forex trading. We talk about real estate, and we talk about the stock market as well as dividend stocks. Guys, we got a heck of a lot going on here at the Unlimited Freedom channel. So, do me a favor, like the video. Okay, it doesn't cost you anything to like the video. Smash the like button, hit the like button. That way we can get this message out to more people. So help a brother out, guys, and push the like button, right, so more people can get this awesome content. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the video and hit the notification bell. Helps me out a ton when you guys like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It also helps you because then that way you get notified every time I release a new video. Now, if you're interested in any of the platforms that I talk about on here, I've got links in the comments, right? In the description, I should say, not in the comments. I've got links in the description, so just go to the description, open up the description to this video, and there's links in the description to every platform that I talk about on here. So if you're, it's also got some videos on there and a link to a book that I wrote last year with Matt Morris and other authors. So all that stuff is in the description, guys. So make sure that you click the description, hit the link, or copy and paste into your browser if you are interested in that. All right, so let's crack into the content of this video today, guys. We're going to talk about fraud. Guys, shout out to you guys in the comments, man. You know, you guys, I got some loyal subscribers in the comments, and I got some loyal haters in the comments as well. Okay, so shout out to you guys. All right, I don't care if you hate in the comments. I don't care if you make a comment on there and say whatever you want to say. Okay, it's a free country, I think. Still, sort of, kind of. I don't know. Not really. Right? You can't hardly say anything actually in this country without getting censored anymore. But it used to be a free country, and over here at the Unlimited Freedom channel, we still have the freedom, thank you very much, to say whatever we want to say. And you're welcome to say whatever you want to say in my comments, okay? So, shout out to the haters on this one, guys, because they're always saying everything is a fraud. Like, dude, everything? Like, dude, is just everything a fraud? Really? Like, okay. Do you have any evidence for this? Do you have any, like, actual reasoning behind this? Or are you just mudslinging? Right? Or you're just saying fraud to say the word fraud. I thought it would behoove us, ladies and gentlemen, to get into the definition of what a fraud is. So let's talk about the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. God, doesn't that sound like something you'd like to be a part of? I'm part of the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. I snitch on people for a living. Right? You know, I'm a professional snitch, right? If I think you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna report it to my agency. Right? The certified fraud examiners, man. Get a load of that. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, this is how they define fraud. Okay? This is how they define fraud. Any activity that relies on deception in order to achieve a gain. Okay, I'm with you so far, but under that definition, I think a lot of things could be considered fraud, right? I mean, your boyfriend might have defrauded you, right? When he said that he owned that Mercedes, but actually he just rented it for the date, right? Was he committing a fraud, right? Should he go to jail? Maybe you think he should. Fraud becomes a crime when it is a knowing misrepresentation of the truth or concealment of a material fact to induce another to act in his or her detriment. Okay, detriment, guys. So let's crack into this definition and just kind of dig deep a little bit to kind of know what we're talking about when we talk about the word fraud. Okay, so any activity that relies on deception in order to achieve a gain. Now, that is a very, you know, I mean, that's a big net. I mean, you're going to catch a lot of fish in that net, okay? Because advertisers regularly practice deception, okay, in order to achieve a gain. Like, regularly. Have you ever seen, like, something that looks so awesome on TV, and then when you get it home, it's just a piece of junk? Right? Have you ever, like, or something that looks like it's the next big thing, and then when you go and you actually crack into it, you realize, oh, it's just a bad ripoff of something else that's already been around for a long time. Well, under this definition, that would be fraud. So basically, every advertiser now needs to go to jail, right? Because they've committed fraud under that definition. But luckily, there's more to it, right? So it's not just that. It's not just practicing deception, right? It's knowingly misrepresenting or concealing the truth. Knowingly, right? Misrepresenting or concealing the truth. That means if somebody were to tell you, hey, I know for a fact, right, that Novatech is doing trading behind the scenes. I know it for a fact. And I don't know that for a fact. But if I were to say that and I'm knowingly misrepresenting the truth, right? Like if somebody said, hey, I'll sign up for Novatech, Vaughn, if you but can you tell me, are they really trading behind the scenes? Do you know that? And I say, yes, they are. I saw them do it yesterday. Well, that would be considered a fraudulent statement because I'm trying to induce them to achieve a gain, right? And, I'm concealing a truth or a material fact. But we're still not done yet in the definition. Here's the interesting part. Okay, so even though I did that, even though I told a flat-out lie, okay, does it affect that person to their detriment? To their detriment. So, in that case, in that scenario, did Novatech steal the person's money? So far, Novatech hasn't stolen anybody's money. And I'm just using Novatech as an example because everybody knows who Novatech is, right? So it really hasn't, even if I lied about that, right, which I'm not inclined to do, right? I like to give you all sides of the token here. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly here on the Unlimited Freedom Channel, and I do not have any reason to practice deception. Okay? Because what I found out about that anyway is it comes back to bite you anyway. Right? If you like lie to somebody to try to get something, eventually the karma's going to come back and get you. It's just how it works. That's just how life works. Right? You don't, you get your But this is an interesting part of the definition, guys. To act to his or her detriment. So what does that mean? Well, it would mean if they actually lost money. So if you actually stole or committed thievery or actually stole something from them, you stole their house, you stole their car, right? You stole something that belonged to them. You defrauded them. So you misrepresented the truth. You concealed the truth. You tricked them into parting with something that was theirs that is now yours to their detriment, meaning that, and this is the last part of the definition, meaning that you hurt that person. You hurt them. Is Novatech hurting everybody? Have they hurt somebody? So far, they haven't hurt anybody. Right, yeah, people are taking a little bit longer to get their bonus account payments. People are taking a little bit longer. They haven't been able to access their trading accounts. You might consider, some people might consider that being hurt. But we don't know if they're going to get the access to the trading accounts or not. We don't know. So we can't sit here and say that Novatech stole the money because we don't know that. And it hasn't happened yet. Now, if it happens, right, if you got like a Enron Bernie Madoff situation where, yeah, now all the money's gone. FTX, the crypto is gone. It's gone bye-bye. You're never going to see your money again, right? Good luck. Right, I lied to you. I misrepresented the truth. I got you to send me your crypto, and I took it, and I kept it, and I never intended to give you anything back. But these platforms aren't doing that. Right? These platforms are letting people get their funds, right? VideoLook, I just got funds from VideoLook this morning. Vortic United, they always send me my funds when I request them. Novatech, I've always gotten my funds from Novatech. Right now, yeah, Novatech's going through a hard time, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to get my funds. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get your funds. It just means that right now they're going through a rough patch. They got to get some things figured out. Hopefully, they will be able to get everybody their funds. Now, they haven't stolen anything yet. Okay, so this is not criminal fraud. Okay, let's look at it again, okay? Now, You have to take this definition in its entirety. So let's rewind and look at it again. Okay, let's bring that back. Right? And look at it again, guys. So, the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. Right? Wouldn't you want to be a certified fraud examiner? Oh man, I think I'd rather go home and be with the Lord than to be a certified fraud examiner. Thank you. Thanks anyway. Thanks, but no thanks. I'd like to do something else with my time. Okay. Defines fraud as any activity that relies on deception in order to achieve a gain. Fraud becomes a crime when it is a knowing misrepresentation of the truth or concealment of a material fact to induce another to act to his or her detriment. So there's an intent to hurt. There's an intent to hurt the other person. There's an intent to steal from the other person. There's an intent to take something from that other person through forms of trickery, through forms of deception. That's fraud. What we're seeing here with crypto platforms, guys, what we're seeing here with the crypto platforms, that's not fraud, okay? I'm sorry to say that's not fraud. There you go, guys. There you go. I mean, have you been waiting? Have you been waiting for somebody to bring you this kind of sauce? This type of sauce where we define the word, we get into the real true definition of it, and we have an intelligent rebuke and an intelligent comeback to say to the people who are just saying, this is fraud, that's fraud, you're a fraud, this is fraud, he's a fraud, she's a fraud. Okay, does it meet all of these requirements, okay? Is it an activity that relies on deception? Okay, maybe. Does it achieve a gain? Sure. Is it a crime? Is it a knowing misrepresentation of the truth? Well, we don't know if it's a knowing misrepresentation of the truth. It might not be. I certainly don't know what Novatech's doing behind the scenes. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes of these different platforms. I'm not there. Right? So how can I know? How can I make a knowing misrepresentation when I don't know? So right there, guess what? That just passes the test. Now you can no longer cry fraud. Okay? But we're not done yet. Knowing misrepresentation of the truth or concealment of a material fact to induce another to act to his or her detriment, meaning there's an intent to hurt, to harm the person. Okay? Now, prove that. Prove that, brother. Prove that I'm on here intending to harm somebody. Prove that these other YouTubers who come on here and talk about crypto programs are intending to harm people. That there's an intent to harm. There's an intent to steal. There's an intent to be a thief. No, you can't prove that because it's not true. First of all, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We're not at the companies. We can share with you the presentation material that the companies give to us. We can show you what we're doing. We can show you how we're making money in the crypto platforms and in the crypto space. But we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We're not there. That's why we warn you guys. We tell you practice risk management. Be smart about this stuff, guys. And then the other element. Trying to induce you or whoever's watching or, a person, a male, a female, whoever it is, a human being, induce another human being to act in their detriment, to get them to hurt themselves, to get them to be parted from something that was theirs in order to hurt them, with the intent to hurt them. Come say that to my face, man. We can go outside and have that discussion. Say it to my face. That I'm intending to hurt somebody. Because the only person I will be intending to hurt, if that's the case, is you. Say that to my face. Okay? I don't come on here to hurt people. I'm on here to help people. I'm trying to pull people out of the muck and the mire, so that they don't have to go through the same thing that I went through for years and years and years. Scratching, clawing, trying to get ahead, trying to go up the corporate ladder, trying to figure out how to win at this game of life. And I'm giving you the sauce. I'm giving you the sauce that I developed, my own recipe. okay, that brought me out. And so that every time I got knocked down, I was able to get back up so I could bring you the sauce. Ladies and gentlemen. So, is it really fraud? Okay, of course not. Of course not. That is a full, fleshed out definition, okay? And it's made by the snitches themselves, okay? It's made by the leader, the head snitch of all the snitches, right? It's made by the head tattletale of every class that you've ever been in, right? Made that definition. I'm reading their definition. I'm reading the definition that the snitches wrote themselves. It doesn't consist of fraud. It doesn't constitute fraud, right? Not according to the definition. There's elements in this definition that are not there when it comes to these different platforms, guys. So next time you hear somebody say, oh, this is a fraud, or that's a fraud, or this is a fraud, say, you know what? Let me go ahead and pull up that video that Unlimited Freedom made, and let's get the definition, and let's find out if this really is fraud. Or maybe you don't know what fraud is. Maybe you're just full of hot air, okay? Maybe you've got some kind of personal need to be right? And you want somebody to attack. You need a bad guy, right? You need to find a bad guy, somebody for you to point the finger at so that you feel better about your life, right? You need to cast somebody in the role of bad guy so that you can justify yourself and say, I'm a good person because this is the bad guy, not me, you, right? I'm not guilty, you are, right? And guess what? That just means you're insecure because we're all guilty. Everybody's guilty. Nobody is without sin, right? Let he who is without sin throw the first stone. None of us are guilt-free. None of us are sinless. And neither are you. Even though you need to cast me in the role of a bad guy so you can feel like you're better, like you're not sinless. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you because with that type of attitude, with that type of belief, you're going to be severely, severely limited in your life because you're using scapegoats. You're playing the blame game, right? Instead of addressing your own issue, instead of addressing your own problem, you're pointing outward onto others, right? You're crying fraud, something you have no idea, but you don't know the first thing about it. Right? I could give you $100,000 and you wouldn't be able to grow that money. I could give it to you. You wouldn't be able to grow it because you don't know how. You haven't taken the hits. You haven't gotten the education. You haven't taken the time. You haven't spent the money to learn. You haven't dropped the ball and picked it back up, dropped the ball and pick it back. You haven't got knocked down enough times. You could win the lottery and you'd be one of those people that just lose all the money because you don't know how to handle it. But it's all a fraud, right? It's all a big fraud. It's all a big fraud, right? These companies are all just trying to hurt people, right? They're all just trying to hurt people. They're all trying to steal. They're all thieves. They're all fraudsters, right? Can't trust any of them, right? Well, who the heck can you trust? It's the funny thing about people like this is you trust the government, right? The biggest extortionists in the world, in the history of the world. Those are the people you trust, right? You give them, here, take my money. Here you go. I trust you. Right? Just, keep me away from the crypto guys, right? Those crypto guys. Oh, no, those are bad guys. But here's my money. Here's my house. You want that too? Right? I own a car. Here's 30%. Okay? Don't put me in jail, please. All right? I'm a good little government person, right? I expose the fraudsters. Please don't lock me up. I'll give you whatever you want. Guys, thank you for tuning in. This has been the definition of fraud, and we're talking about all the people who love to cry fraud. This is the Unlimited Freedom channel. Like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.